Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Good morning, Bix Weir, RoadtoRoota.com. Insane battles going on behind the scenes in the banking system. I'll get to that in a second. First, happy Thanksgiving. I'll be posting off and on. Don't forget the FDIC in the meeting where they disclosed that they're going to have to shut down the banks said, this was November of 2022, said that they would rather it all happen on a 3-day weekend. And I was looking at what we got here, and we got basically nothing till January. I think January there's a 3-day weekend. So what about a 4-day weekend? That's this Thanksgiving. So as of Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, will they pull the plug on the banking system tomorrow or after the close of business tomorrow? I doubt they'll do it on Christmas, maybe New Year's. But the reality is that's what they said they're going to do. They're going to need at least 3 days to shut the banking system down and then restart it, which is insane. So I want to show you what the battles are. First of all, got this from one of the subscribers on RoadtoRoota. Another one for the DTCC Weirder Things records. According to the note below, the CUSIP ID of a UBS bond due to sell tomorrow has been deleted. So the way bonds work is they'll issue like a $10, $20 million bond. They'll pay a dividend every month or quarterly or however it's set up. And at the end, they pay back the principal. So they pay back the $20 million. Unless it gets canceled. So everybody who bought this bond, thousands, millions of investors, I don't know how many investors there are in this bond, are not going to get paid out. And I'm like, this must be like a quirky, just a change. It's got to be something else. And I read through it, and they don't have any. There's no answers. Call your broker. Any questions should be diverted right to the underwriter. Okay. And then there's another one just a couple days ago. So that's on the 11th and a couple days ago. FDIC changed the format issuer failure notice to this postponement. Now they're going to postpone a different bond. Participants are advised NSCC through its agent has received notification from the underwriter that the possible cusp on the above-mentioned issue originally scheduled for November 10th has been postponed to be determined. Another UBS bond. So UBS is a too-big-to-fail bank, one of the criminal cabal, one of the riggers. And now they're not paying off on their bonds. And normally the FDIC would bail this shit out, or the European Union bail this shit out before it even shows its ugly head. It doesn't look like they're bailing anybody out. Hang on to your hats. So here's some of the battle. These people are vicious, by the way. So the good guys are going after the big banks because they know they're about to collapse. UBS goes, JP Morgan goes. JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, and BofA hit with negative earnings ratings outlook as Moody said U.S. government has a weaker capacity to support the big banks. So basically, Moody said, you guys are too big to fail, so we'll rate you better. You have a government backstop. And we've been talking about this for a very long time. And now they're saying not even the government can bail you out. So Moody's had to lower their rating because their rating was predicated on the backstop of the U.S. government. Now they say the U.S. government isn't going to bail out the big banks. Again, timing. So, all right. This is so insane. So the big banks are going after this guy. FDIC Chairman Martin Gruenberg won't oversee a misconduct probe. You Google FDIC, it's all about the chairman getting ousted because he let this happen on his watch. All the lefty stuff, Me Too movement. But what is the real reason why they're getting him out? What is the real reason why they don't want the chairman of the board of the FDIC to be in any meetings? As a matter of fact, the U.S. FDIC scraps planned meeting on special assessment for bank failures. Job done. The bank said, you are not going to meet. The FDIC will not meet to put special assessments on the big banks. And unless you do what we tell you to do, we're going to ruin your life and ruin your career. Gruenberg said, screw you, we need these, and boom, he'll be gone in a matter of days. He's probably already gone. FDIC Chairman Martin Gruenberg won't oversee misconduct probe. 2 other agencies and directors, including GOP Vice Chair, also won't participate in a review of harassment. And so I Googled it, and it's everywhere. And it started in the Wall Street Journal and the banking newspapers, and then it spread everywhere. Now it's the Me Too movement. Get him out, get him out, get him out. Oh, by the way, we're going to have to block this meeting that would have assessed us. I think JP Morgan was on the hook for $3 billion. But it ain't going to happen. You guys want a full rundown? Go to Wall Street on Parade. 6 big banks forced to declare $9.3 billion in additional FDIC expenses. Now, this happened a couple, what did they say? I think it was a week ago, on the 16th. This happened on the 16th. They've already been fined that. This was going to go over the top. This would have destroyed the banking cabal. That's why they do everything they can to destroy this guy's reputation. Everything they can. This is the war behind the scenes. Also, a deep dive into unprecedented Wall Street Journal attacks on FDIC Chairman Martin Gruenberg. Great job, Wall Street on Parade again. Although they have massive lefty tendencies, let me tell you. They don't understand Trump and all that, but that's okay. They do a great job in sussing out what's going on at JP Morgan Chase. I'm surprised they haven't done much on silver, and I don't think they have. They might have. I mean, that's the canary in the coal mine. People have asked me, Bix, do you think they'll shut down the markets before silver will go to $600? If they have that power, they would. But I think the good guys are a lot more powerful. From the RoadtoRoota data I've looked at, so many different areas for the past 20 years, it is actually physical silver that destroys the system. The ultimate bank slayer. So yes, I could see physical silver running, and then at some point, maybe over $50, COMEX shuts down and all the banks lose their shit. Silver goes to $600 on individual basis, peer-to-peer transactions. I mean, that's how I have seen it for a long time, since I discovered the RoadtoRoota documents out of the Fed Boston. A lot of other things led me down different paths, and a few of those paths have pointed to the massive rise of silver is going to be the only thing that kills these banks once and for all, because they can literally do anything. They can destroy anybody. This poor guy is getting the same treatment as that Judge Kavanaugh got. But this is all banking, my friends. This is a fight for the banks continuing the criminality. They will lose in the end, but there's going to be a lot of carnage on the way from here to there. Sorry. By the way, U.S. Congress is getting involved too. The U.S. Congress is bought and paid for by the banks. Republicans heap pressure on FDIC's Gruenberg over claims of toxic workplace. And it's Democrats too. But what is the reason behind all this? Because he was going to vote in a special meeting for special assessments, and banks can't have that, so they had to destroy this guy's life. One of many people have been destroyed. So keep that in mind. I've been doing a lot on the RoadtoRoota about. So I mean, I don't know if banks will fail this weekend. It would be in line with what the FDIC has said, but maybe that was the plan all along. Maybe they had planned for the collapse this weekend, and with this guy gone, there's no way they can do it. Orderly collapse of the banking system. But give me a break. Could have never happened that way. So, I mean, this is a sign of a few things. One, the bankers still have control and will use any dirty trick to not be fined special assessments because they don't have the money. And we just saw UBS can't even pay their bonds. Are they in default now? What happens to their AAA credit rating? We will find out. Okay, a lot of people, I've been just jumping up and down about the solar numbers and the green energy movement. A lot of people texting me and saying, "Oh, Bix, you don't understand. Green cars are nothing. They're going to be gone in a blink of an eye and all that." These are all non-electric vehicle drivers. I haven't heard any pure electric vehicle drivers saying they hate this. Regular car people say it all the time, but they avoid or they don't know that the electric car movement is exploding all around the world, like massively. Here's Gartner Group, which is an extremely well-known group that analyzes all kinds of shit, but they've been looking at electric cars. It's outside the metals focus and Silver Institute world. I mean, that's just pure criminality over there. But Gartner Group, so those who think the car market is dying or the electric car market is dying, just look at these numbers. In 2022, 11 million cars, 198,000 buses, 137,000 vans, 22,000 heavy trucks. And look, it is jumping massively. It went from 11 to 15. 11 million to 15 million. That's a massive jump. And then look at 2017. I mean, we already don't have the silver for this. And at 2 ounces per electric car, I mean, some of these are bigger, so a lot more silver is used, most likely. I mean, that's a, 13% jump? And obviously they have to tamp down going forward. So it's only a, what is that? I'll figure it out. Hold on, because this is important stuff. Because there is no silver left. And those of you saying that's 20, hold on. 11, so this is 26% jump in electric car new shipments, electric car shipments, and 24 is looking at a 17% jump. Don't tell me that electric cars are dying. Those people, when you hear that, just say, look at the data. My God, they've exploded in the last couple of years. Exploded higher. I mean, the only thing slowing it down is the availability of the component parts. Batteries. Everybody's trying to get a battery. And the amazing ability of Tesla to make electric cars for cheap. And that's 100% Elon Musk. Read his book. I've been screaming this. Read his book to understand how he can set off rocket ships, although the other one blew up. They blew up all the time, and he talks about that. But he can do it a hell of a lot, like a tenth of the price of what the U.S. government does? Why is that? Because he can work his way through the assembly line, piece by piece, component by component. The guy's unbelievable at building things, great things for cheap. So all these big car companies are absolutely losing money on their electric vehicles. That's going to be taken care of by the COP meeting, the UN climate meeting coming up in the next 3 weeks. They'll come out with an announcement that said we're going to triple the amount of electric products that go out there because we need to save the planet, and we're going to pay for them. So it doesn't matter if GM can't make an electric car profitably. They're going to get the money because they're going to print money because it's trying to save the world. So this number here from Gartner Group is a 20% rise. So the estimate for the last year on, I think, now don't get me wrong, I'm trying to remember, I think it was 60 million ounces that the Silver Institute said was going into electric cars. This will bump it 120%. So 20% bump would be, 72 million in a world where there is no silver for this kind of stuff. 72 million more ounces going into 72 million ounces this year in 2023, and then even more 80. So it would be 15, 87. 87 million, say 90. Let's say 90. They had projected 90 for 2025. I think 90 will be 2024 in automobiles. And this doesn't even count regular automobiles, that the amount of silver used in each one is climbing massively because of all the electronic gadgets on every car now. The insanity of silver being under 50% of its all-time high from 1980. I mean, how many times do we have to whack you in the head and say, look at this? Anyway, it's happening. There's nothing you can do about it. But they're going to hold the price down till the very last day. And then ultimately, because silver is the bank killer, these banks that are doing these evil deeds right now, destroying a guy's career. I mean, this guy's a lifer. Gruenberg's a lifer in the FDIC. You can't think of a more boring organization. And they are pulling a Brett Kavanaugh on him right now. And that's got to stop. But hey, we'll see what happens. The bankers got what they wanted. They're not going to put special assessments on because he was he allowed grab ass bullshit when FDIC inspectors went on the road. Why now, Jamie Dimon? Oh, by the way, Jamie Dimon, who was one of your very best friends, Jeffrey Epstein. Please explain that one. And you were the only banker for Epstein, only banker for Bernie Madoff. You see how that the chips don't. I mean, Jamie Dimon, these bankers of all people, saying that the FDIC is a Me Too movement that hasn't been addressed is bullshit. As far as the crypto world, okay, even bigger things. Gary Gensler has gone full balls out. He knows this is the end game. He take down the largest exchange, largest crypto exchange, Binance, fined $4 billion. CEO pleads guilty for not stopping money laundering. Dun, dun, dun. They could have, if they really cared, if Gary Gensler and friends really cared about, all the criminality that goes on, why don't you start with your own banking system? Why don't you start with your stock market, Gary Gensler? What about all the rehypothecated shares? There's another lawsuit going on where they're trying to figure out it was a buyout. And they're trying to figure out the same thing the Heinz Corporation tried to figure out. Why is there more shares? Why are people submitting more shares in the buyout than there are shares available that the entire float? More than the entire float. More than Heinz Corporation had sent out got redeemed. How is that possible? There's another court case going on right now about the same thing. There's more shares out there than the company ever issued. How is that possible? Well, why don't we go ask the FDIC, who is currently in the process of canceling bonds right before the delivery date because UBS doesn't have the money. This is insane. So more on Binance. So how do they get him? How does Gary Gensler and friends, do they fight clean or do they fight dirty? They fight dirty, of course. Historic fine on Binance over alleged Hamas financing signals new era of crypto crackdown. Right. Gary Gensler is a fraud. He's a criminal doing his bidding. He always has been. Who do you think was the head of the CFTC during the years everybody I knew was screaming about silver manipulation? 3,000 letters went to the CFTC. Who ran that? Gary Gensler. It took Trump's DOJ to come back and say, holy shit, you guys were rigging the market from 2008 to 2016. That's Gary Gensler's right in his sweet spot. Why didn't Gary Gensler go to jail? Why didn't anybody go to jail for all that bullshit? And now Gary Gensler's at the SEC. And he's pulling this crap. Now they are gunning for cryptos. Serious crypto warning issued as Binance collapse countdown suddenly begins. BNB leads Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP price lower. I have been screaming that you cannot have your cryptos in anybody else's hands but yourself. Coinbase is next. They will shut down Coinbase. They will shut down Kraken. They will shut down Gemini. They're going to shut it all down. This is the end game. They want to shut down everything. And Gary Gensler has been leading this charge. XRP And Tether, gone. Tether's $1 billion deposit with Britannia Financial Sub at the center of legal battles in London's court. I mean, the most corrupt criminal crypto and people involved with this crypto is Tether. That's the deep state pedo cabal, my friends. And it always has been. I've been screaming about this for a very long time. When Tether goes, crypto markets will shut down, banks will shut down. Tether was always a fraud. The day they came out with their quote audit was the day that Binance or EOS finally got all of its ICO money, like $3 billion, $4 billion. And just so happened at that exact same time is when and it was only there for a day, the fake audit company came out with, oh, here's the audit. We know that Tether has three. They're all connected. Get your cryptos, the good ones only, and get out of the exchange. Don't expect to make any money for a while. And it's not going to be about money. It's about who has the cryptos as the banks collapse. So here's what Gary Gensler and friends want to do. SEC Chair Gary Gensler says rebooted FTX run by ex-NYSE chief is possible within the law. Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't think of any more criminal people than the heads of these exchanges, the regular exchanges, the NYMEX, the NYSE, the NASDAQ. I can't think of any more criminal rigors than those people who run the exchanges. Why do I say that? Well, let's take a short trip back in time. Bernie Madoff, what was his first job? American fraudster and financier who admitted the mastermind known as the Ponzi scheme is worth an estimated $65 billion. He at one time was the chairman of the NASDAQ. Bernie Madoff, chairman of the NASDAQ. Gary Gensler, rebooted FTX could be run by ex-NYSE chief, the other exchange. What about the third exchange? the COMEX, the NYMEX. This guy, Vinny Viola, the guy who ran Virtu Financial. He still runs Virtu Financial. The biggest electronic rigging operation on the planet. They're market makers. It's like Jeffrey Christian says. They short all the transactions coming in. Vinny Viola and Bernie Madoff were exactly the same. Bernie Madoff, they sent him off to Kinley's Island. Vinny Viola is still there as far as I know. And now Gary Gensler wants the head of the NYSE to reboot FTX. This is fucking insane. These people are insane. That's why I'll scream it another time. Do not have any of your assets in any exchange with any third party holding it. The whole shit's falling apart right now. I don't know if you'll see it in the silver price. The RoadtoRoota theory says, yeah, the good guys are going to show you point blank just how valuable the price of silver should be. Gary Gensler belongs in jail, by the way. Who do you think wrote the $1 million check for the Clinton dossier, the Russian hoax? Who do you think signed that check? Gary Gensler. Gary's got to go. Gary's got to go. Anyway, that's what I got for you. Banks are literally, all the claws are out. They're destroying people. They're destroying companies. And they're going to destroy you as well. So get ready for it. Now, and who are we going to turn to? Now we can't turn to the FDIC. We're not going to turn to the banks. We're not going to turn to the politicians. We can't trust the U.S. Mint anymore thanks to Ventures Gibson. Quick note on that. The Mint did make another 100,000 Silver Eagles. But there's still, I think there's about 800,000 that they're going to make more. And that's it for this year, if ever again. And just blame her. Ventures Gibson, the head of the director of the Mint, who told, if you go to RoadtoRoota.com, listen to the interview right on the front page. This is the free page. My interview with the head of Silver Eagle Sales. And there's 5 laws that they're breaking that he admits to. And this woman, Ventris Gibson, placed there by the Biden administration. This is the 2022 the annual report. The Mint continues to be a world leader in bullion coin production. A world leader, yeah, but oh, by the way, you're not the world leader anymore. Thanks to you, Ventris. Even increasing production quantities of one of our most popular coins, the American Eagle 1 ounce silver dollar, that's a flat out lie. She even sent a letter to all the people who have bought from the Mint saying the same thing, that they've greatly increased Silver Eagle production, whereas we can tell from right, where is it? What did I do? There it is. Ventris Gibson got put in October of 2021. They had already done they had already done 25 million ounces because David Ryder did a hell of a lot in the beginning, right before he switched over the Eagle to one we can scan and put on a blockchain. And then the next year, she literally went to the head of Silver Eagle sales and says, don't sell any Silver Eagles. Completely against the law. And then for the full year 2022, she had one of the worst productions ever. And this is a third of what they can do. And yet she claims, and I quote, even increasing productions of one of our most popular coins, the American Eagle 1 ounce silver dollar. What the fuck? I'm tired of politicians patting themselves on the back. That chick, Karine Jean-Pierre, whatever her name is, the White House spokesperson, is the most pathetic human on the planet. Go listen to just one of her discussions. I mean, granted, it's hard to defend the indefensible when you're looking at the current administration. But her smug attitude up there, there was a great question the other day about the polling data. And one of the reporters actually came out and said, hey, why do you not believe the polling data when it's bad for your administration, but you do believe it when it's something good that the polls say? Why don't you? And they're literally asking her this question. She'll go back, well, blah, 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 blah. Says absolutely nothing, doesn't even address the question. I can't talk about the election. Unless it's something that the Biden administration would think would be, good for them. And then all of a sudden, she'll talk every day about the election. This administration, historic legislation. If I hear her say historic legislation again, I think I'll throw up. The Inflation Reduction Act. Talking about taking something and misnaming it for the exact opposite. It should be the Inflation Increasing Act. Increasing? The insanity of what this administration has done, right down to the director, Ventris Gibson of the U.S. Mint, taking the U.S. Silver Eagle, the number one silver coin on the planet, to number 2, maybe even number 3. It could have been worse. Had I not done the interview with the head of Silver Eagle sales, I think it would have been worse, because right after that interview, they started increasing production of the Silver Eagles. I don't know where we go right now, but it is not smooth sailing going forward. I don't know if they'll click a mouse and put the price of silver at minus $40. They could do that. They did it with oil. Why can't they do it with silver? Sure. But Bix, that was about storage of oil, really. Oh, really, was it? What about the storage of silver coins? All the warehouses are full. We can't. There's so much. This is Jeffrey Kirsten would say. There's so many silver bars we can't fit them in any more warehouses. That's why the price of silver went down to minus $40. This is an insane game, but we're all over it. And if you've been listening to RoadtoRoota and so many other people, we are all over their ass. Stay on their ass. Send letters. Call customer service at the U.S. Mint and say, what the F? You said you made more Silver Eagles, except the data shows you made a third of what you could make. Why are you lying to me? And why are you lying to the American people? And why are you destroying the best mint in the world? Because we need to believe in something coming out of this mess. And if we can't believe in the U.S. Mint anymore, get ready for Mad Max world. I do believe all the documents from the RoadtoRoota show us going back to a gold and silver standard. Hopefully they are doing things not at this mint. There are a bunch of mints around the U.S. I'm hoping, it's like a wing and a prayer now. I'm hoping that the other mints around the country, there are other mints that, I think there's a secret mint also, by the way, in the Grand Canyon. And we've remote viewed stuff like that. But I hope that other people are running this shit, other than Ventress Gibson, who never was involved with the mint ever before she became director. She was an HR professional. And, I mean, if Janet Yellen yells at everybody, stop making Silver Eagles, you better have a good HR professional, because your entire staff's going to come up and say, what the fuck? So they hired the perfect person for the job, which is a 30-year lifer in the government HR professional, human resources. Not a mint director. I think in the end, David Ryder will come back if he wants to. He might not need to. I think the U.S. government will fail upon the collapse of the banking system. So we're in for some tough days, my friends. Still, 99.99% of the population has no idea anything's going on. They'll read crap like this and think, oh my God, this guy is the devil. We have to get rid of him. He's against women. He wants only because Jamie Dimon. I mean, look at I did a search on it, and it's just every newspaper now around the world, because the bankster said we need to denigrate this guy. Every newspaper around the world saying, oh, FDIC is horrible. Don't forget, the FDIC is your only defense against banks collapsing. Yes, they don't have the money. They got like a little over 1% of what they insure. Not counting derivatives, but a lot of people think that the new, it's not new, the Dodd-Frank Act added derivatives to the banking, the FDIC insurable deposits. The reality is, I love that part. And people say, why do you love it? Why do you love that the FDIC now has to pay out all the derivatives? And they have to pay them out before the customers, by the way. And I said, it's very simple. I love it because they could never do it. And when they can never do it, that means the whole system implodes, destroyed. And that's what we need. Don't count on the FDIC to be there, especially now. Get your if you like cash in the bank, get it all out and make deposits when you need to pay bills. Or keep it in silver, duh. A lot of people still have gold at 85 to 1. I have no idea. That relationship is probably reversed at some point. Definitely not 85 to 1. When would I swap my silver for gold? I'd do a little bit at 1 to 1. But by then, everybody would know that silver has been highly price suppressed for the past 170 years. Highly. Anyway, I keep going on and on. This is a long one today. Let's just say I'm going longer because Thanksgiving's coming up, and I like to barbecue a turkey, so I got to get up at like 5 in the morning for the family. Got to do it for the family. And then, if you've ever barbecued a turkey, a big turkey, it's a lot of, adding coals every half an hour, sitting around, drinking cocktails and watching the sun come up. Anyway, I just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. I do not think we'll have a banking collapse because even if they were planning for this weekend, there's turmoil at the FDIC. So maybe they're going to skip it for this. Nice job, Jamie Dimon. Way to get out of it again. He can run, but he can't hide. We'll see what happens. God bless you and your family and your friends, and please have a good Thanksgiving and help educate people. Don't get any fights about crypto or silver or manipulation or the pedophiles or all that. Don't do it. Just relax. Be lucky you're with friends and family if you are. If you're by yourself, God bless you. Have a turkey sandwich. I love turkey sandwiches. and keep up the good fight. And I wish everybody a good time, and that's all I got for you. Go to RoadtoRoota.com for all the information you want on the history of the world. You use the search function, type in anything you want, and you'll see how many times I've written about it. And then go to all the videos. I've been doing videos for only 5 years. I've been writing about the same stuff for 24 years now. So go to RoadtoRoota.com. There's thousands of articles, any topic you want. Go check it out. You guys have a good one. I'll talk to you later.